traditional school because Henry was in traditional school and he was extremely unhappy.
It didn't work out.
He'd been unhappy for a number of years. We tried all sorts of ways of resolving it, resolution, and trying to find ways for him to have friends and be happy, but it just seemed to be getting worse and worse. And you felt quite helpless, really. You don't quite know what to do. And it feels like your whole world's closing in because at the end of the day you want your child to be happy. And then there was this lovely lady at the school, support lady, who was able to talk to us at one of my lowest times when I was constantly going backwards and forwards into the school meetings, trying to resolve things. And we had a meeting with her, and she observed Henry at school, and she watched him, and she did a report, and she came back to us and she said, "Do you have the ability to homeschool Henry?" And I said, "Well, what do you mean?" And she said, "Well, do you work? Are you at home? Would you be able to do it?" And I said, "Well, fortunately I am, and I would." She said, "Well, school's not for Henry." And she said, "If you can do it," she says, "I'll hold your hand and I'll help you. And, it would be the best thing for him." Martin was in the meeting, and at the time we were quite shocked because to me that felt like you were going off. I mean, it was like, I don't know, Columbus discovering America. You don't. It's a flat sea and you fall off the end. There's nothing. And we talked about it, and we went backwards and forwards, and we tried to carry on resolving things. We thought, can we do it? Yes, we can. No, we can't. I couldn't teach him. How do I teach him? What do I do? His education's important. I mean, I can't let him down. When we first started on this journey, I didn't know what options there were. This lady introduced me to some mums that had already started the home education path, and so I started talking on the phone to complete strangers, but by talking to them I felt that we had so much in common. I felt like we knew them, and it started to make me feel more confident that this possibly was the right path to take. But I knew that I couldn't do it on my own. I was going to need support because I know Henry and he's a good lad and I know his capabilities, but the curriculum, GCSEs, subjects, I'm not an all-encompassing teacher. I can teach him the social side of it and integrating and finding him friends. I'm taxi driver. So we looked on the website, we started reading all the information, and then there was a bit that I saw, and I think I discussed this with you earlier, the bit that I saw about Nelson Mandela. And I thought, if Nelson Mandela can do this through Wolsey Hall, I'm pretty sure I can get Henry through this with Wolsey Hall. And that was a trigger. That was it.
That was a trigger, yeah.
There was a lot of phone calls backwards and forwards, and some of the ladies, Tina rings a bell a lot, and there was another lady, as I ummed and ahed, I went backwards and forwards, asked questions, came away. They were extremely helpful. They sent links and little clips of what each of the subjects encompass, what it would be like.
Simple.
So you got an idea, so I could read through it and see if this is something that I could do. And I said, well, I can't teach him. And the first thing one of the ladies said is, you don't teach, you mentor. You've got the teachers online. And that was great. That was absolutely wonderful, because I thought, right, that means I can do this, but I'm not doing it on my own.
And the lady at Playbox said the homeschool, it'll just evolve. And it does, it just evolves. And to go from the first day of I would say within a month, we were evolving. And it's just got bigger and bigger and bigger.
It's very liberating being the educator, if you like, of your child, or supporting your child in his journey of education, because you actually go by what Henry wants. It's not like I said, a one shoe fits all. It's how Henry develops, what directions he wants to go in, and you sort of go like this, meander this way, and then go this way, and then go that way. And while it's what he wants, he's engaged and he's excited. And for him now, we do stuff where there's so much study involved, but he actually feels like he's playing. It's fun. And as soon as he dons on the goggles, he becomes this mad scientist. He puts on his blue rubber gloves and he gets his Bunsen burner and he's there and he's doing it. And we set fire. We have these sugar snakes.
That sugar snake thing was cool.
The tutor feedback and support is brilliant because I have my link to Wolsey Hall, and on my link I have examples of
Specimen answers.
Good assignments. I have specimen examples. I have the answers, which really helps when you don't know what you're talking about. Yeah. So you've got all of that as well. So I have all of that, and every time I let Henry be independent and submit his assignments and everything else and send the emails, but then Wolsey Hall notify me and they let me know as well. So I know without standing over his shoulder and following him around and letting him be independent, I know what's going on as well. We definitely feel that Wolsey Hall is the right choice for Henry, 110%.
He's very outspoken and he's very confident and he's just excelling.
Yes, he's
Fullstop.com,
great.
he's just excelling.